Listen, take this as your clue, your hint in life to stop watching x100v videos. I've seen like all x100v videos, or at least I feel like it. Actually, I can't because it feels like a new one comes out every day. And you know what's really funny? I feel like every x100v video is pretty much the same. It's always like, when I started my photography journey, I, got really into buying camera bodies and lenses and new pieces of equipment. And now I mounted like $100,000 of camera gear. And then I got the X100V and realized I don't need all that. I actually take it out more because it's smaller, because all the crazy, heavy, super cool, awesome camera gear was weighing me down. And now that I have the X100V, my soul is liberated. I've been lifted. I levitate when I take photos. I can feel my family's love. Every time I click the shutter of the 100V, I feel the love of 1,000 gods hugging me. I don't know, something to that extent. But it's always basically the same narrative, like, I used to have a bunch of gear and now I don't. And guess what? Not having a lot of gear is actually really cool for travel, for a travel camera. And it's like, well, yeah. Like, I'm just being a hater here probably, just because I actually want one. I'm jealous that they have one and I don't. In all honesty, it seems like a really, really cool camera. However, you just can't buy it. So what's the point of a camera that you can't buy? You got to B&H, you got to Adorama, you got to Amazon. You either can't buy it, it's out of stock, or you got to just overpay up the yin yang for something like $2,000 or over $2,000, maybe even $1,800 for a used camera, for a camera that goes for like $1,400 brand new. So no thank you. What got me into the X100V? I don't have it, but what got me interested in it was the fact that it had FujiFilm simulations, because I have always shot on Sony cameras, and I guess I was just getting tired, more specifically the A6000, but I just feel like I was getting tired of the way it looks. And I know you can go into Lightroom and change it, which I've done many, many, many times. However, I just wanted something casual to shoot with my friends and my family, and just something that I wasn't going to always have to bring home and edit. So I was like, oh, that's like a perfect camera because it's kind of compact, has a good piece of glass, but you can't buy it. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to buy it resale, so let me look into something else, because that's not the only camera that has FujiFilm simulations. So I ended up getting the that's Freudian slip. I ended up getting the XT30 just because it was like the cheapest camera I could buy on the refurbished website. You know what? I'm glad I did. I know the XE4 is also really popular, but I didn't know this at the time. Which is ironic because when I was looking at it, it was in stock, but the XE4 is always out of stock as well, or seems to be. And when I was like, randomly, I was just like, let me look at the XE4 because that's a small body and I could put a small lens on it and be good. And then it was in stock, but I had already had the XT30 and I wanted to try Fuji also for its clicky tactile buttons and switches and whatnot, and the XE4 lacked a lot of that. So I'm happy. I'm pretty sure the XE4 is awesome because it's a newer camera, but I'm happy for the time being with my XT30 right now. I do want the X100V, but like I said, it's not really an option. Here it is. I've really been enjoying shooting with this XT30. I like how it looks, I like how it feels, and it's really funny because I know you're not supposed to care, but the way this camera looks and feels affects how I use it all the time. I had to go get this camera. Why? Because I have this camera in my bedroom. All the Sony cameras, that's equipment. Those are tools. Whereas this is my camera. You get what I'm saying? You understand? It looks nicer, therefore I use it more. And I've really been enjoying using it. I like how the shutter speed, the ISO, and the aperture all has like physical things that like one of those things does one thing, right? If I move the little ring around the lens, that controls the aperture. These little guys here at the top affect my shutter speed. I like that. On the Sony cameras, it was always like press down on the wheel and change whether or not you want to use ISO, and that's fine. It totally worked. I mean, if somebody were to pay me to take photos right now, I'm taking my Sony just because I'm more comfortable with it and I know it better. But this makes me think about it differently. This makes more sense in my brain. I forgot what it was, but I think there was a feature on there that I really liked. And then I realized that it was also on the Sony camera that I've had forever. That says a lot about this camera. It's actually gotten me more interested into photography again. Just because probably it's new and I'm in the honeymoon phase with it, because it's like, oh, I like it and it looks cool and it feels good and the colors look awesome. But the fact that I already had a feature on my current cameras that I didn't even care about or look into, I say feature, but it was probably something super basic. Yeah, I think it says a lot because it shows that like this camera, the Fuji X-T30, is making me want to learn a little bit more about photography, and that can't be said about my Sony cameras that I've had for a while. And I hate to sound corny, but it kind of inspires me to learn and like inspires me because I want to have this with me, right? I carry this thing around. I've been carrying this thing around a lot lately, mostly because I like how it looks, because I like how it feels, because I like how it operates. Now, I'd love for it to be a lot smaller, like the X100V, but whatever. I can cross my fingers and hope that all the crazy amount of people that are buying the X100V are, you know, some of them are eventually not going to want it, and hopefully they're going to sell it and put it on the resale market, you know, and get some, you know, and we could get some good deals on the used market or actually be able to buy one at retail. But that's besides the point. I've really been enjoying this camera. It's not without its cons, right? There's certainly some things that I haven't liked about it. Number one, the focus. Like, I'm super spoiled. If I can look at my Sony camera and look, my eyeball's always in focus. No matter what I do, I can come back here and say, hey, what's up, everybody? And it shows my eyeball is in focus. I could come up forward and my eyeball's in focus. And in pictures, when I'm taking photos, it's the same way. With the XT30, the first few days, I would feel like I was missing shots. I felt like this isn't really grabbing my people as much. But, and it also, there's like this weird banding thing where it's making like these dark shadows at the top of the frame. And I've gotten this like red A where it's like, hey, I can't autofocus. So it hasn't been the most reliable, I guess you could say in those ways. But, that doesn't happen all the time. And like, maybe it's something I'm doing because I'm super new to the camera. But like I said, I've really been enjoying using it. Now, like, I love the Fuji, and I know a lot of YouTube creators are going to Fuji and everything. That's kind of what's creating this, you know, influx of people that want to buy the X100V. Do I think that means I really enjoy it? Does that mean you need to buy it? No, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this forever. I just wanted something different because I was sick of my current cameras just because APS-C, Sony APS-Cs. I've seen you for too long, but they're really great, so I can't poo-poo them too much. But no, I think you should probably just learn something new about the camera you already have. If you want a FujiFilm camera, buy a FujiFilm camera. Maybe it'll do the same for you as it did for me and make you feel like, I feel a little cooler. I like how, I like how it operates. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great that there's other people are getting interested into other cameras other than just Sony and Canon. So yeah, shout out to Fuji. I really like it. I would probably do the same. Don't get too bummed out about the X100V. Hopefully there's going to be a new iteration of it coming within a year or so, or hopefully like the market's not so crazy and they're able to produce more. I know there's probably like a chip shortage and that's probably like affecting it now. So hopefully there's good things to come. But if not, like, that's not the only camera that exists. If you want FujiFilm simulations, there's plenty of other cameras that do it, or play with the settings on the camera that you may already have. For example, I'm pretty sure it won't be as good. That's the other thing I wanted to say. I know people say like, oh, you can make anything look like anything in Lightroom. And that might be true. Maybe I'm just not good enough, but I don't really think that you can get it 100% like, the way it looks out of a Fuji. And also I just don't want to spend the time. I just wanted something casual to be able to take pictures of me, my friends, and family without having to always come home and put it into Lightroom to get something that I like. So I just wanted a casual camera, and it's been great for that. I shot a little clip of video, and that also looks really cool. The colors are fantastic. That's what I got it for. I'm glad it's been great for that. But yeah, that's that. If you have any questions, if you want to see me compare maybe this to like an A6000 or a ZV-E10, I'd be glad to do it. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But I don't know if I mentioned, I got it off of FujiFilm refurbished. Seemed like a good deal. But anyways, that's that. If you like the video, don't forget to like it. If you want to see more, please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe. I should throw an affiliate link down in the description down below. Click on it. Buy something. It helps the channel out. Treat yourself to a nice FujiFilm camera maybe, or maybe a Sony, whatever, APS-C, A7, full frame, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Peace.